Hello, folks. Today, we're tackling a highly debated topic.
Rachel Reeves may be over-egging the £22 billion black hole.
I'm sure you all remember very well that during the election, Labour promised not to raise taxes. But
most crucially, my lords, please let me quote Richard Hughes, the chair of the OBR itself. And I quote, "Nothing in our review was a legitimisation of that £22 billion figure."
But, as most of us on this channel expected, they've hiked taxes, cut benefits, and are playing the same old game of, it's not our fault.
So I have a simple question, please, for the noble Lord the Minister. When the OBR says nothing in their review was a legitimisation of the number that has now been repeated 59 times from His Majesty's government benches, is the chair of the OBR wrong?
And as you've come to expect, they're once again shifting the blame for their poor decisions onto the previous government. But this claim sparked a heated debate in Parliament, where a Conservative MP grilled a Labour minister over the legitimacy of this so-called financial black hole. To keep you informed, I've brought you this video. Watch until the end to uncover what's really going on. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this.
My lords, I thank the noble Lord the Minister for his answer, but I'm afraid I have to challenge the validity of his data on what he refers to as the black hole. Please let me quote Paul Johnson, the director of the Institute for Fiscal Studies, and I quote, "Rachel Reeves may be over-egging the £22 billion black hole, but most crucially, my lords, please let me quote Richard Hughes, the chair of the OBR itself, and I quote, nothing in our review was a legitimisation of that £22 billion figure." So I have a simple question, please, for the noble Lord the Minister. When the OBR says nothing in their review was a legitimisation of the number that has now been repeated 59 times from His Majesty's government benches, is the chair of the OBR wrong?
Well, I am rather astonished that the noble lord has gone on this particular line of inquiry, but I am absolutely delighted that he has, because, you know, as he knows, it's one of my favourite topics, and I hope we can make it 60 times from this dispatch box that I talk about the £22 billion of unfunded spending that we inherited from the previous government. The noble lord will know that the OBR's review was into the meeting that they had with the Treasury on the 8th of February, when, under the legislation passed by the previous government, the government was obliged to disclose all unfunded pressure against the reserve. The OBR's review has established that at that point, the government concealed from the OBR £9.5 billion. Now, before we dismiss £9.5 billion, that is equal to the entire capital education budget, the entire capital health budget. So that is not a drop in the ocean. That is £9.5 billion. The OBR then made 10 recommendations to stop this from ever happening again, and we have accepted all of those in full. Now, of course, that was just in February. The previous government then had until July. Now, what makes anyone think that because they thought they'd got away with it in February, somehow they stopped up until July? We know Treasury figures show that come the spring budget. Well, it was quite a long question. He asked me specifically to break it down, so I'm answering the question. By the spring budget, that number had reached £16.3 billion. By July, it had reached £22 billion.
Now, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you make of this £22 billion black hole narrative? Is there any truth to it? Or is it just an excuse to hike taxes and line their own pockets while they're in power? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.